Today we will discuss difference between EQ and IQ, which means difference between emotional quotient and intelligence quotient. Second topic will be models related to EQ or EI. EI means emotional intelligence. Here we will discuss two models. Number 1, Salovey and Mayer model, and number 2, Daniel Goleman model. In Salovey and Mayer model, we will discuss 4 abilities of emotional quotient. Number 1, understand manifested emotions. Number 2, use emotions to inspire thinking. And number 3, understand the mixture of emotions. And number 4, managing emotions. In Daniel Goleman's model, we will discuss 5 abilities of EQ, that is self awareness, self regulation, self motivation, empathy, and social skills. So let's start today's class with the difference between EQ and IQ. So the first point which we are going to discuss is the origin of these two terms. So if we talk about EQ or EI, it was first used in 1985 in Wayne Penne's doctoral thesis, and the title of this thesis was A Study of Emotion, Developing Emotional Intelligence. But this term became popular in 1995 by Daniel Goleman's book, famous book. It was titled Emotional Intelligence, Why It Can Matter More Than IQ. So this was the origin, this was the history of origin of this term EQ. Now if we look at the history of IQ, the history of term of this IQ, in 1883 this term was used in statistician Francis Galton's paper, and the title of this research paper was Inquiries into Human Faculty and Its Development. While this term was practically applied in 1905 by French psychologist Alfred Binet to evaluate school children in France. So this was the historical background of these two terms. Now if we talk about the definition of these two terms, so for EQ, emotional quotient, EQ is the ability to recognize, access, and control the feelings of oneself, others, and groups. So here keywords are recognize, assess, and control, and feelings of oneself, others, and groups. Now if we talk about the definition of IQ, definition of IQ is it is a score that is one of several standard tests designed to assess intelligence. IQ is the ability to learn a person's skill, the ability to learn information and arguments in a meaningful way, including the ability to understand and use them. Now let's talk about the capabilities. A person having high EQ and the capabilities a person having high IQ. So first, Look at the capabilities of a person which has a high EQ value. A person with high EQ can identify, evaluate, control, and express emotions. He has ability to use emotions to facilitate the experience, assessment, and thinking of others' feeling. So here the key terms are identification, evaluation, controlling, and expression of which emotions. Now, a person with high IQ has ability to understand and learn information and can use it in skills, logical thinking, word skills, mathematics skill, abstract and spatial thinking, sorting out irrelevant information. So the key terms for IQ is skill, ability to learn skill, and logical thinking. Now let's talk about the properties or characteristics of the person which has high EQ or IQ at workplace. So first, if we talk about EQ, a person with high EQ at workplace will show teamwork, leadership, successful relationships, service orientation, initiative, and collaborative attitude. While a person with high IQ at workplace will show success with challenging tasks, ability to analyze and connect key points with research and development. With the help of high EQ, great leaders, great team players, and those individuals who work alone and individuals with high social challenges have been appeared. While IQ, IQ, high IQ indicates that the person is highly competent and the person is inborn genius. Now we have some critical tests for measuring EQ and IQ. For EQ, the popular test is Myers-Salovey Caruso test, and it is based on emotion, problem solving task. Another test is Daniel Goleman's model score, and it is based on emotional competencies. And for IQ, there are some tests. One is Stanford Binet test and Woodcock Johnson test of cognitive abilities. Now, which is more important in our life, EQ or IQ? So, better understanding of emotional understanding is necessary for working in a group or team. Both these types of qualifications, that is EQ and IQ, are required for a person to succeed, but being a social animal, the importance of emotions are high. In this way, the importance of emotional intelligence is more than that of IQ. A higher IQ provides additional benefits, but emotional intelligence is an intelligence without which social relationships are difficult to sustain. So, this was the These were the points by which we can differentiate between EQ and IQ. Now, second topic of today's lecture is models related to emotional intelligence. A number of scholars have defined their social intelligence in their own way. But we are going to discuss only two models. Number one, our first model is model of Salovey and Mayer. In 1990, in a research paper, Salovey and Mayer stated that emotional intelligence is the ability by which a person recognizes the feelings and the feelings of himself and others, distinguishes between them, and uses this information to direct his thinking and action. So, this is the definition which we have already discussed multiple times before this lecture. In a 1997 book, Salovey and Mayer defined emotional intelligence in a more systematic way, stating that emotional intelligence is the ability by which emotions can be expressed. They can be linked to the thinking process. The emotions can be understood and it can be regularized to encourage individual progress. There are four qualifications under this. Number one, ability to understand manifested emotions. Number two, ability to use emotions to inspire thinking. And number three, understanding the mixture of emotions very precisely. And number four is managing our emotions. So, now let's have a glance of these four qualities. Number one, perceiving emotions or ability to understand manifest emotions. Acquiring any knowledge through the experience of the senses, that is seeing or hearing or knowing something through touch. Under this ability, it is expected that the person can guess what the other person's state of mind is by looking at other faces, physical expressions, sounds, or pictures. A special level of this ability is seen where one person is hiding his state of mind, and yet another person can identify him with very limited signals. Many times, even in conflicting gestures, moods have to be sensed, such as seeing a laughing person, guessing that he is not happy from inside, or reading a child crying while stubbing a toy to read that his tears are fake. This ability not only works in relation to others but also works on the level of our self state, emotions, and aspirations. Many times people are upset, but they don't know why they are upset. This means that they are unable to read their states of mind properly. It may be that a small incident is bothering them, but they are not thinking of that. They are not thinking of that incident while searching for the cause of their trouble on a conscious level. So, it is all about the ability of perceiving emotions or ability to understand manifested emotions. Now, let's talk about the second qualification, that is using emotions to inspire thinking. It is a state of greater maturity than the first capacity. When we read another person's feeling, we often express an immediate emotional reaction and are unable to relate that information with contemplation. For example, When talking to a friend, his facial expressions make us feel that he is seriously angry with us. Then, this information can have two consequences. Number one, we immediately react emotionally, like annoyance, fighting, shouting, etc. And second is that analyze this information before any response and should think over what could be the reason for this resentment. Maybe somewhere I have done my behavior. I have done any such type of behavior which is against his dignity. Immediate emotional reactions deteriorate the relationship. There may be intense emotionality in such individuals, but emotional intelligence is low, definitely low. Now, moving on, the third qualification, that is understanding the mixture of emotions. It means identifying others or their feelings to a level of micro level, to a level of subtly or micro level. Significantly, the feelings of young children are often simple. If any child is happy, it means he is absolutely happy. If he is sad, it means he is absolutely sad. Nothing impurities are present in his mind. But as the person matures, different combinations of different emotions begin to activate in his mind. For example, if two people are angry at someone, then it may also happen that one person's anger has a combination of anger plus anxiety, while in the other feeling of anger, there is a mixture of anger and hatred. So we have two persons, both are having anger, but the first person has anxiety also, but the second person has hatred feeling. One more example of angry person, and this angry person may be a mother or father, which is all who is also full of anger, but the second emotion which is mixed with anger is compassion towards their very mischievous child. So we can we can react accurately to our own or others' feeling only when we hear our inner voice, or we have a clear understanding of what feelings are involved in his or her mood. Emotionally intelligent people have the characteristic that they understand complex and mixed emotions by dividing them into simple parts, and also make a subtle difference in the emotions that look very similar. So, this ability should be present in psychologists, great psychologists, and doctors. Now, moving on, next qualification, that is managing emotions. This is the most complex aspect of emotional intelligence. Taking this ability is a proof that the person is at higher level of emotional intelligence. It is mandatory for successful social reformers and politicians to have this ability. It has two sides. Number one, manage emotions before they are expressed. And number two, managing the level of expression of emotions. Number one is manage emotions before they are expressed. And number two, managing the level of expression. The first side means that the person evaluates their feelings, and if those feelings or their intensity is inappropriate, stop. Stop them before reaching the point of expression. For example, in case of severe anger towards a friend, be able to understand that neither this anger is appropriate nor its intensity because of previous happy moments shared by your friend. In another situation, it may happen that the feeling is appropriate but its intensity is unfair. Bringing your mind to a state of equilibrium in both situations is a hallmark of intelligence. There can be many ways of this, such as distracting your attention, separating yourself from that situation, or breathing fast, or changing the subjects. If a young man has, now let's look another example. If a young man has differences with his father and it is not possible to resolve the differences due to generational conflict, then he must keep his point but with humility and respect for the father. If he does not control his speech while speaking, he should opt for the written message, or you can say he can email, or any other family member should be made a mediator like mummy or any other member. Similarly, if a person wants to reject, look, when I am saying person may be girl or boy, both can have this position. Similarly, if a person wants to reject a love proposal given by someone else, reason should be the most important thing. It is the most important thing. Reasons should be explained so that the person's self-esteem is not hurt. Instead of saying that you are not worth it, you're not worthy person, we should say like I am already committed, or you can say I want to study for the next 2 years, or you can say my family is very conservative, so it would not be possible for us. Like these statements can be delivered. So this was the detailed discussion about the first model. Now moving on, the second model, that is model of Daniel Goleman. Daniel Goleman is a popular psychologist. The concept of emotional intelligence or EI became increasingly prevalent through his popular book Emotional Intelligence: Why It Can Matter More Than IQ in 1995. Goleman emphasized more on the practical sides. This is the key word. He emphasized more on the practical sides of intelligence. At the conceptual level, he has reduced the use of academic methods. He has not clearly defined emotional intelligence as ability or trait. He believes that emotional intelligence is an acquired ability. Listen carefully. What he advocated? He believes that emotional intelligence is an acquired ability, which means this ability can be learned after birth, but its range is also affected by our biological structures. He claims that, now this is the most important point, he claims that 80% or more success in practical life is determined by emotional intelligence, while the role of IQ is less than 20%. He also has a controversial but interesting inference, that is, since women often have more emotional intelligence. I'm repeating this line. Since women often have more emotional intelligence and the comparative importance of emotional intelligence is increasing in the present circumstances, the possibility of women reaching higher positions in most areas will increase in future. Be careful. The possibility of women reaching higher positions in most areas will increase in future. So we can assure you that our future is in safe hands. Now, Goldman considers emotional intelligence a group of 5 abilities or qualifications. These are: number 1, self awareness; number 2, self regulation; number 3, self motivation; and number 4, empathy; and number 5, social skills. Let's start with the first quality, that is self awareness. Self awareness means clear knowledge of our feelings, nature, values, goals, abilities, and weaknesses. So, self awareness is the introspection. Understanding also how the sides of my personality affect others. Many of our emotions are very complex, and an emotionally intelligent person is able to understand those complex emotions and can separate them from the rest. According to Goldman, a person's decision will be correct only when he is familiar with his basic personality. The decision of a person who understands exactly what he really wants is settled. On the other hand, most of the decisions of people who do not understand themselves are based on external pressure or immediate temptations, and every such decision is later proved to be wrong. This is most important point of this theory, that our generally the decisions of many youth is affected by external pressure or immediate temptations. So that's why every such decision will later prove to be wrong. Second quality is self regulation. It means managing the nature of emotions, intensity of emotions, and expressions of the emotions. It has the following aspects. Number 1, if the nature of the emotion is not proper, then stop it from being expressed. For example, if there is a feeling of violence in your mind when you are very angry, then stop it. Second, if the feeling is right, okay, it's not your fault. That's why if the feeling is right but its intensity is wrong, then take that intensity to the level of equilibrium. For example, if a child lied, is not telling the truth, then the punishment should not exceed the intensity of the punishment required for a lie. Another example, if suppose you are a CEO of a company and an employee arrives late regularly, then instead of bringing in the feeling of suspending them directly, it would be appropriate to have a talk with him. Now, the third quality is self motivation. Very difficult and very important. Self motivation means that when a person's purpose is far away, because it is very big goal, and he is not getting enough motivations from outside, which means situation is very tough, then he should have the ability to motivate himself continuously. This includes some aspects such as to curb the greed of intermittent immediate benefits. If the objective is very big, if the goal is very big and challenging like UPSC, then it is natural to have such a feeling in the mind that success will not be achieved, my planning is not good, my luck is not coming. These are negative thoughts. Instead, thinking like this, one should plan appropriate for solutions instead of giving up in such moments of despair. Continuous battling with fatigue and boredom in long struggle. So, here are some tips. Very important. Very important lines of this lecture. Let's talk about the methods to get self motivation regularly. Number 1 point, because this is the time of lockdown, so to get self motivation is very important. The first point is make your routine such that it must have some time for entertainment. Entertainment may be singing, dancing, exercise, cooking, okay, and your interest. So, in your routine, these two elements should be present. Number 2, second tip. First tip was make your routine healthy routine. Number 2, staying in a group that has the same objectives so that your purpose is right should be confirmed many times. Sometimes we think that my goal is correct or not, or am I the correct person to achieve this goal? So, to stop these types of thinking, we should stay in a group that has the same objectives. Now you can say that how can this be done in the time of lockdown? Then you can also talk in the platforms, in the social media platforms, mobile phone. Because remember one thing, you are average of your 4 persons surrounding you. Listen carefully. You are average of 4 persons surrounding you. So that's why surround yourself with positive people. Third tip is standing with others. Believe in the concept of karma. Standing with others in their movement, in their hard moment, so that they too stand with you in moments of your disappointment. Finding ways of spontaneous expression of fear of failure. Finding ways of spontaneous expression of fear of failure, etc., so that they do not become mental frustrations. And you can tell with your intimate friend, or tearing down a paper after writing your problems on it. And the last tip is maintaining a positive attitude towards your goal and making a habit of writing or asking friends for self affirmation. This is also called auto suggestive mode. Now, the fourth quality is empathy. The meaning of empathy is, we will study the meaning of empathy in three steps. Number one, it is the ability to accurately read the feelings and emotions of others, whether the person wants to hide their feelings. Second step, ability to use that information to make the right decision after knowing someone's state of mind. For example, if the father's mood is right, then ask for money. Third step is evaluating a person and trying to understand why he is doing this by putting yourself in his place, and if you were in his place, would you not be doing the same? Very important point. Before Always think before criticizing any public figure or leader, either Narendra Modi or Rahul Gandhi. Before criticizing, think about what you would have done if you had been there. It is easy to judge anyone. Now, the last property or characteristic or quality is social skills. This ability is called interpersonal efficiency in Gardner's language. In Gardner's view, social skill means interpersonal efficiency. This means that a person should maintain a relationship with other people in such a way that those relationships benefit him and everyone. For example, the following skills can be included in this. If a problem has arisen in a relationship with a person, then resolve it in a positive way rather than end the relationship or let it go bad. Social skill is the ability to give appropriate feedback to other person's behavior in an appropriate manner. Also to give feedback in such a way that it does not hurt his self-esteem. In this situation, the option of not giving feedback will not be considered appropriate, because in that case the person will not understand his mistake here. The option of not giving feedback is only right where the person is unable to understand or accept it, or considers such an attempt as a trespassing attempt. Now, if the relationship with a person is not very good, then at least maintain functional relations. Say good morning, good night, at least at your workplace, because it is very helpful in accomplishing the objectives of the organization. Even if an employee treats you with a very indecent attitude, the option of ending relationship would be considered wrong from the organization's point of view. Ability to work as a member in a group is very difficult. Ability to work as a member, not as a leader, as a member in a group is very difficult. Many persons add unnecessary legs to the work of others. They wish to get all credit for the efforts in which whole group was involved. And the last point is allocating work to various group members, understanding their capabilities, weaknesses, dispositions, interests, and attitude, and checking at every stage that the organization is not harmed by interpersonal relationship. So these were the 5 qualities. These are social skills, empathy, self motivation, self regulation, and self awareness, which was mentioned by Daniel Goleman. So it was all about the model of Daniel Goleman. Before this, we have discussed the model of Salovey and Mayer, and before that, we have discussed the differences between emotional intelligence and intelligence quotient. Thank you.